Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general love reading for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus between the middle of May to the middle of June 2019. I do hope that this video finds you all well. I know these love readings were highly sought after when I did the poll last month asking what mid-monthly readings people were interested in, and love readings unsurprisingly came out at the top. I know they're very, very popular here on YouTube, so I'm excited to give this a whirl. I am calling this series The Heart of the Matter, which helps us figure out what is blocking us, what our wounds are, especially from childhood, early development, and how that is presenting as relationship issues and what we can do to empower ourselves to have the relationships that we actually want. So I do hope that you enjoy this. Before we begin, I do have a quick announcement. I am going to start doing giveaways on this channel. It will be the winner's choice between a free distance Reiki session or a free tarot reading. I'm going to offer these giveaways after we hit certain subscriber counts. I'm thinking the first one would be good for 10,000. So if you haven't already subscribed and you're interested in entering in that free giveaway, definitely hit subscribe. And like and comment down below. It's really amazing to see this channel grow and just to hear feedback, and the support has been absolutely wonderful. It's an absolute gift to be part of this tarot community on YouTube. I think it's really unlike any other online community I've seen. There's actually a lot of support here. And one of the things I think is most beautiful about these videos is that people will comment on them, and you'll see many other people reply saying that they've gone through similar things or they're going through something similar. And I think it's so powerful to share our experiences because it reminds us that we're not really going through things alone. We're not just this lonely little bubble. We actually are all being pulled by these currents, these waves, these tides. And it's so important to feel connected in that way. So thank you all so much for commenting. Thank you all so much for being open with your experience. It's just so beautiful to see. So if nothing else, just make sure to hit like and subscribe to really help this channel grow and to really reach out and to connect with other people as well. You might be surprised how good that feels afterward. Anyway, what else? I think that's pretty much it. Even though I did say that this video was for the middle of May to the middle of June, I want to also keep in mind that I feel like these messages will come to us whenever they are meant to be, especially with these love readings, more so than the general readings. So, regardless of whenever you find this video, I trust that there is a message here for you, and to just be open to that, regardless of what month or even year you find it in. I do also want to disclaim that this is a general reading, meaning that not all of the messages are going to be in resonance with you. It's up to your own discernment to figure out what is applicable to your life and what is to be left behind for someone else. Don't get too caught up on the gender of the cards, and some of the some of the energy that is presented as the other person might actually be your own energy. So some of the cards for your person might actually be a better reflection for you, and vice versa. And finally, because these are love readings, it doesn't necessarily always have to be romance. It could actually be a close friend. The dynamic could also be with a family member or even a business partner or something like that, someone you're really close to. So keep all of that in mind. And finally, I know I reference the astrology a lot in these cards, but again, this is all just energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to be these signs, especially not in a general reading. And I think that is everything. I do have all of my links down below if you're interested in scheduling a personal reading or a distance Reiki session. I also have donation links as well. Lots of interesting stuff down there if you want to check it out. Anyway, I think I'm going to begin the actual reading now. I'm just going to set an intention really quickly, and I invite you to clear your own energy as well, to take a deep breath, and just be open to whatever wisdom is coming to you at this time. Alright, what are the general messages for Libra regarding love? A lot of cards just fell out for you here. What are the general messages for Libra regarding love? one more, please. What are the general messages for Libra regarding love? Very interesting story that I'm seeing here. So, for the overall energy, we do have this Eight of Wands in the reverse, which tells me that there is some sort of blockage, especially in communication. For some of you, you might not have even met this person yet. That is actually kind of a theme I'm getting, and this spread might be able to help you figure out who this person is. For others of you, this might be someone you have known from the past or even recently, but it seems like there's some sort of blockage in communication, or there was some sort of plan to do something together that just fell through, and things are feeling pretty stuck, to be honest. I do have, as a fear and worry for you, you do have this Temperance in reverse. Some of you might be thinking about a Sagittarius, or someone who has a lot of Sagittarius in their chart. It seems like there is this fear about not having a balanced relationship, about not having the relationship you really want, and that might be presenting itself even within the context of a relationship. But again, this actually does feel like pretty single energy, I have to be honest. Some of you might be dealing with someone who's also going through a lot. They're not really seeming in their power, just looking at their energy really quickly. It does feel like it feels like right now there is kind of this need to take space for yourself, regardless of whatever situation you're involved in. It does feel like some of you are going inward to find some sort of healing, and it seems like you're afraid you're never going to get there. You're never going to get into this relationship that you want, or get into this connection that you really crave. And I do feel like it is possible for you. I'm just going to keep going through the spread. We are going to get there, but I think that this is just where you're at now. This Temperance in reverse. Things aren't in balance right now. The divine timing isn't right now. I do have, for their worries and fears, your persons, there is this Queen of Wands in reverse. Some of them may be dealing with a fire sign, so an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This also feels like some of them are afraid. I actually get that some of them are intimidated by you. They're afraid to approach you. But this actually seems more like they're not in their own power right now. They're feeling pretty disempowered themselves. I think they have some self-esteem stuff that they're going through, especially from childhood. It does seem like they have a hard time. There's something about their ego that's really out of whack. And it's really easy to think of a narcissist as someone who has a big ego, like too much of an ego. But the reality is that that's a facade. So regardless of whether this person has a very diminished sense of self or a very, I guess, inflated sense of self, it would be helpful to look at this energy like an ego wound. And there is some sort of ego wound that they are dealing with, and that's a fear of theirs, that's a worry of theirs. They're very concerned about the way that they come across, the way that they are embodying themselves. And I do feel like some of you might be dealing with a Leo or a water sign as well. But it seems very... They're just not... There's something off. It seems like there's something off with their sense of self. That's all I'm really getting from that. I hope that's making sense to some of you. I do feel, as a blockage for you, we do have the Six of Cups, which is interesting because this is about childhood healing. This could very well be someone from your past. This could be someone who's trying to come in, but you might be blocking them, and that doesn't even necessarily need to be like literally blocking them on Facebook or blocking them on social media. This is energy, and especially in terms of relationships, we are always being presented with a mirror. So whatever the person we are interested in is giving us, whatever we feel from them, it says a lot about the way we interact with ourselves. And for you, Libra, I honestly feel like there is this deep need to do inner child work, to heal childhood wounds here. This is presenting as a blockage right now, or something from the past, But honestly, even those past connections are actually reflections of something that happened earlier on in your life as well. You know, if you're attracted to distant people, if you're attracted to narcissists, if you're attracted to people who just try and bring you down, um, really ask yourself where that comes from. Why are you attracted to this? Why are you attracted to all of this? I see as a blockage for them, they do have the strength in reverse, which again kind of tells me that there is this ego thing that's going on for them. That they're not feeling strong, they're not feeling in their power. You could definitely be dealing with a Leo, or they might be dealing with a Leo right now, who's making them feel very weak, even trapped. They are having a hard time controlling their emotions. They're having a hard time being present with their emotions, and they take it out on other people. I just feel like there is definitely this sense of me with them. I gotta be honest. And I almost feel like they're a bit manipulative with the way that they go about this. I don't think this is just them acting impulsively. There does seem to be something calculated here. As for your, this is your recommended course of action, you do have the World card here. And this speaks about cycles. And this really seems to neatly tie back into what I was talking about before. There's a pattern here, there's a cycle here. I do feel like this isn't the first time you've been in this sort of relationship or dynamic with someone. This seems to be a recurring theme for you. And again, this is manifesting in your life over and over again because the universe is trying to show you something that happened to you in the past. And that's why it keeps bubbling up. That's why it keeps emerging to you. And I feel like there is a need to complete this cycle to bring things to an end. Some of you may also be working with a fixed sign, so someone who has Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, or Scorpio. A lot of fixed energy there. Um, just, but I really do feel like you really need to think about yourself in the world and the way that you relate to the world at large. Because that it is, I know that sounds very general and vague, but that is actually affecting your relationships a lot. And that's something to definitely keep in mind. I just felt like I was supposed to say that to you. We have as their likely course of action the Queen of Cups in reverse. So again, some of you might be dealing with a water sign. That could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And this is a person who's acting very manipulative. I don't see that changing. This person definitely feels a bit like a narcissist, to be honest. And I just see that they read the situation and they just tune themselves ever so slightly, or they try to tune you, rather. Because the Queen of Cups in reverse is someone who's very psychic. They're very intuitive. They're very good at reading people in a situation, but they will manipulate you. They will use that to your detriment. And I feel like this person is definitely not thinking with your best interest in heart or the relationship with the best interest in heart. And I do feel like there is this need to just carry on with what you're doing. I do have as the outcome here this Ten of Wands. There's a lot of burden here. There's a lot of weight that you're carrying because it's like you're carrying your own weight, your own wounds with all of this childhood stuff, and you're carrying theirs. And there, it seems like you're more willing to work on yourself than this person. You're more willing to own up to your faults, and I feel like you're almost more willing to try and make it an apology. But this person, they'll kind of twist it. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry that you felt that way," type of energy. That's honestly what I'm getting. And that's kind of shitty. We do also have the Eight of Cups in reverse. It came out with this Ten of Wands. And this tells me that there is, I don't feel like, when this Eight of Wands is upright, this is taking time for yourself, going off on this journey, walking away from a situation. What I'm almost getting the sense of with this card, however, is that there is someone who is coming, there is someone who is returning, but it does seem like it might be a bit of a burden, so you really need to be careful with what you're taking on yourself right now, especially if this is something that you do genuinely want to try and work on. Honestly, I feel like it would be best to just keep yourself as unburdened as possible. There are some wounds you still need to work on for first, that's for sure. Um, but I honestly would keep my distance from this person if I were you. And I trust there is someone coming in, someone else, someone new. This isn't, you're not going to be alone forever. That's the message I'm getting as kind of this outcome here. Things are really hard right now. Things are kind of closing cycles. That's why things are so intense for you, because you're coming into a window where you need to close cycles, and that doesn't even necessarily just need to include relationships. And it's like the universe is trying to push you into doing that because you've been holding on to the past for too long, or you've just not been dealing with your stuff for too long. I do also just want to say really quickly, I noticed this Knight of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck here. And again, this is about someone who is, you know, upright. This is someone who's very romantic. They're kind of an ideal partner. They're very idealistic and emotionally attuned. This person feels very egocentric. It doesn't feel like this is a wise person to really put your energy towards, whoever this is showing up for you as. Um, so keep that in mind. I get the sense this person actually has a lot of mommy issues as well, because we do have these two queens for them in the reverse, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, and it seems like, you know, with you having temperance, interestingly enough, it's like finding the balance between fire and water, between opposites, and you need to do that in yourself first before you can do that for this other person. I am going to take a peek at the animal cards now just to see what else they have to say about this situation. And I'm sorry that these readings have been a little heavy, I've noticed this month. A lot of signs have really been having some tough reads for their love life, and I'm honestly not surprised. We did start off this cycle with a Scorpio full moon, and that was opposing Venus conjunct with Uranus in Taurus, kind of in the opposite placement, and it was also opposing Mercury, so blocked off communication or sudden separation is really possible for this placement right now. I think this could be recent for some of you, or it's just bringing up a more distant separation, kind of bringing that to the forefront of your mind. It does seem like there's just a lot of change that's happening in relationship right now. There's a lot of clearing out of old energy. Don't panic. This is not forever. This is temporary, but it is heavy right now, and that is honestly the read I'm getting for a lot of the other signs too. Oops. So the card that came out here for the overall relationship is Lion. I'll get to that in a moment. Your energy is actually interesting because we have the hyena. I feel like there is some sort of mask that you're putting on. There's some sort of half-truth you're giving people, or even giving yourself. You're not fully owning up to the truth of a situation, or you have a tendency to do so. I do feel like you are coming out of this energy, however, because there are circumstances that are really making you look at yourself. This is a card of sobriety because hyena has this like almost drunken laughter. So it may be important for you to be very moderate with whatever you're putting into your body. It doesn't necessarily need to be alcohol. It could be any drug, even food or behavior. Um, and using humor as a coping mechanism. Sometimes it's very helpful. Sometimes it's beautiful. I actually get the sense, however, for most of you, you have used that as a way to kind of mask pain in your life. And you almost make yourself the butt of the joke a lot of the time. You talk down about yourself, and people don't really get to see who you are, what you really care about because of that. So it's important for you to practice being vulnerable. And I feel like that's going to start with you getting vulnerable with your inner child. Um, as for their animal here, they do actually have the lamb, which is very interesting. I feel like this is them being part of a flock. They're in kind of a flock mentality. It's almost like they've lost their sense of self in some way, which is interesting given that they do seem to have some narcissistic tendencies, to be totally honest, at least with a big current I'm tapping into. Um, I think this is also just saying listen to your intuition, find quiet, find calm. I feel like this person is actually kind of withdrawing, and maybe that's causing you some pain. I do have with this overall message the lion, which is interesting, the lion and the lamb. Um, it does feel like right now you need to find the happy balance between finding people who support you and having time to yourself. And Libra, you're all about balance, so it's no surprise that a lot of your themes, a lot of the themes in your life pertain to you learning about balance, interacting in a balanced way, finding moderation. With Lion, it's a very strong and powerful animal, and with this showing up as kind of the overall energy, I think there's a really big need for you to be okay with being by yourself, but also be okay to opening up. Some people see this lion and they don't realize that there is pain there. There's emotions there. There's a whole world a lot of people don't see because they're so swayed by this outward appearance. And this could also be your person, but it feels like it's you as well. It's important that you find the people that you can connect to in a very genuine way. And that starts by opening up. That starts by being willing to put down the mask, by being willing to stop making yourself a joke and to actually be very serious and be vulnerable and even cry with someone. And it feels like that's why you feel so alone right now, Libra. Um, those are all the messages I am getting for you right now. Again, I do apologize that this is a bit heavy. There's just really big currents and shifts that are happening, so keep that in mind. This does, again, feel very, very temporary. It's just a hard spell that you're in. Um, but I do hope that this was helpful or insightful for some of you. You're also more than welcome to book a personal reading or distance Reiki session to help move through this intense energy. That could definitely be helpful for some of you. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Oh, and of course, if this video doesn't resonate, it won't with everyone. You are more than welcome to check out your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign as well, in addition to this one to kind of get a fuller picture or find one that does fit. I do also have general readings which may describe a situation that didn't come up here that may be very important for you to be aware of as well. So just stuff to look at, and of course there's many other amazing YouTube readers as well, so if I didn't pick up on your energy this time, I'm sure someone else did, so it never hurts to look around until you really feel that resonance in your heart, like, yes, this is what I needed to hear. So again, I hope this was all helpful. I will see you next time. Bye, Libra.